Hello everybody, welcome back to Disaster Chess, and this week we have a very special episode. We might be breaking the 700 ELO, or will we? Let's go. So we have a brand new 10-minute game, and today I'm introducing, well, not that it's new, but I've been playing the King's Indian defense on black, and it's been leading to a lot of learning on my side, a lot of new patterns, new positions that I'm encountering. I'm by no means, an expert on the lines or anything, but I've learned a lot and it's been a lot of fun to do. So the idea with the King's Indian is really that we're giving away the center in a pretty big way. However, what we're doing is we're preparing to snipe the pawns in the center with our pieces in this kind of pretty conservative, safe setup. And this is a part of the post, I think it's called something like the ultra modern openings, and this is a movement that I think started in the early 1900s of people almost giving away the center so that the enemy bites off more than he can chew. For example, some stuff here he's not going to be able to support full, as much as he would like, and we may be able to attack it. And specifically what we're looking for is, now that we've castled and we have the potential energy of this bishop that we're going to unlock at some point. Right now it's behind the knight, but it will be unlocked at some point. We want to go for this kind of pawn break in the E file, right? There's also the idea of the C file if we want to push on the queen side, which is also a possibility. But we want to, before we do that, we want to develop our knight as well. And this is a fine position for it right now. I am thinking towards the lines of, boom, E5, right? But before we do that, we need also the rook behind it to add a little bit more punch to the position. So that's kind of the idea, and it's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of fun. As you guys saw in the beginning of the video, I got up to 699. I actually lost a game right before this, so we're a bit lower, a bit under that. But in a couple games, we could be breaking the 700. So for me, it's a big moment as a chess player, if you want to be dramatic, that, be breaking that 700 ELO, which for some reason seems like an emblematic number. So we'll see if we're able to do it today. And he also moves the rook to kind of match things. We're going to start our pawn break. And we have opened up this pawn, which is a little tender, right? But for now, it's okay. It's not a big problem for us. Let's just keep an eye on things now. Very important to react correctly to what he does. So let's do our best here and focus. More than likely, he takes, and then we take back. Are we happy with that? We're opening the file. He could just take our queen. We're very even right now. It's not clear who that benefits, I think. I am now considering something like the move G4, right? Bishop G4, causing him to push a pawn to shove us away, potentially taking the knight and causing his queen to be dislodged. That could be a move for us. There's also knight b4, which sets things up nicely. If his queen does move away, this could be a very nice outpost for the knight with that fork as well. Okay, so I think he does this in preparation of a potential bishop move and also knight move. I think he doesn't want our knight to move into that position. But we're going to move here. Now, if takes, we're not going to be able to take back because the queen is looking at that square as well. But I'm not too worried about it, right? I'm not too worried. We're kind of opening the position. And as our sensei, Daniel Natrovitsky, says, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. So we're going to break some eggs, right? Going to break some eggs. Now, can we take here, as we were saying? No, because he's got two defenders on it, so that's not going to work. Can we take here? He also has two defenders. So that neither option seems great right now. However, we have a few other moves that could work out. So let's consider some options. If we move the knight here, this could be a decent outpost, perhaps. If we then push the pawn to back up, if we push this pawn to back up our knight. So let's start making moves, and we don't need to commit to anything straight away. The other thing that I'm thinking about is going knight a5 and then starting a pawn push on this side. We're not committed to pushing on the king's side necessarily. Just because we started the e-file push, we can go this way, and that's perfectly fine. Now he pins the knight, so we have to be careful with how we respond here. I think the best option right now will be to unpin. If we do want to move the knight, we now can. Very unlikely that he would actually choose to take here. So now in my head, I'm thinking, I really want to dislodge the queen from d1, because that right now is stopping the move knight c2, which I would love to make. Realistically, will he let us do it? Maybe not, but it would be a nice idea if we could dislodge the queen from there. I would like it. So perhaps if we were able to take the knight, we could cause that to happen. It doesn't seem the easiest thing right now, but it could be like a longer term objective for us to work towards. The other thing we could think about is trading our bishop, because what that will do is his knight will move to take, and we could take back potentially if we wanted. So that's another option for us. Okay. Well, right now I'm unhappy with this bishop here. Can we just shoo him away? We can. But another thing we can do right now, the bishop isn't doing much, right? It's kind of, as Daniel says, it's biting on granite, one of his signature expressions. And we have about 7 minutes left, so let's actually claim this outpost here, okay? And what I would love to do, guys, is potentially push this pawn to support the knight. And we can then also support that pawn with the other pawn. You know, just because we're castled on king's side doesn't mean we can't push on king's side. We can, if we, do it slowly and safely. We do have to watch out because, once again, this is open, of course. And now he threatens the knight. Okay, well, now we have to get out or back up the knight. If we just push here, he will take. In which case, we could actually take back with the queen. Might be an interesting play. It does open our king's side quite a bit, which I'm not super happy about, in all honesty. Is there anything else interesting we can do with the knight besides just pushing it back? Well, perhaps not. But one thing we can do is look for a trade, right? So we can look for a trade in our own terms. If we go here, for example, we would be attacking his knight. But it wouldn't work out. We wouldn't be able to capitalize on it. So instead, I want to go here. If he decides to take, we're going to take his bishop. And we're going to be very happy with it. Okay, so he decides to actually take back. Can we simply snap take? I'm always careful. I don't want to just take without thinking. It seems like we can take this. Now, if we... so remember, we're still under threat there. So if we take here, he's going to take our knight. If we push our queen to f6, we are guarding the knight, but we're sacking the queen. Right? We're losing the queen, so we can't actually make that move. And for the same reason, we also can't send the queen that way. So I think that now this actually wasn't a great move. Because when we take, he just takes and he's won a piece in this exchange. So that actually kind of sucks. Is there any way we can kind of make that work for us? We potentially could place our bishop here, right? X-raying the queen. And we do open this diagonal. And we open ourselves to being taken here. So neither option is great. I think I'm going to play it normal, play it, I guess, safe and take here. Understand that we've lost our knight in this very juicy position, and we have been outplayed, sadly. But it's not over, right? It's not over yet. Very important to keep our composure here. We want to dislodge this knight, guys, if we could. If we could, we would want to dislodge that. Can we do anything about that annoying knight? Well, I think that right now we're going to break some eggs. So we're going to take, because that bishop with the queen is very scary. Very, very scary. And with this, he's going to take, right? We're not going to have immediately a great response for it. But what we can do is try to push these pawns in the near future. And we have some options. Here, if takes, he can take back, and then when we take, he recovers with the queen, so that's not a great option. Let's look at a few other options here. We can actually shoo the queen away by doing this, but we gotta be careful because he can just take our bishop, right? And that's gonna suck. We need our bishop for the attack. So I don't want to lose my bishop right now. Don't want to lose it. Is there any way we can prevent this? Or highly discourage it in some way? And I'm not seeing it. I think we're going to have to allow that, sadly. I'm trying to think now, how can we bring this rook into the game, guys? How can we do that? So for now, we're going to do this with the idea of shooing away the queen. I'm very scared that he's just going to take. And I'm going to be forced to kind of pick up the knight with this pawn, which I don't love. I don't love that idea as much as you may think. Let's see what he does here. We have something like 2.5 minutes left, by the way, so we have to play a little bit fast. And this idea, I don't love it for many reasons. I think that instead, what we're gonna do is push it like this. And remember that there is this dangerous X-ray. It's this dangerous X-ray that we would like to avoid, of course. Now, we can do this to shoo away the queen. She can't take because we're controlling that square as well. It does weaken our pawn structure quite a bit, but, you know, pawn structure isn't everything. As long as we can, put together an attack of our own, we'll be okay. But it is a big if. We've lost our bishop, which was kind of a key idea that we had for the attack. Now it gets complicated because he's guarding these squares with the rooks, and it gets very nasty. He can actually choose to just take like he does. And the reality is we can take, of course, but then he takes our queen back. So instead, I'm going to take his rook, and he's up 4 right now in terms of material. I don't necessarily want to trade queens. Definitely not on those terms. So now he's of course not actually threatening anything directly, and he doesn't have any checkmate ideas right now that I can see right now. Now this move is actually open to us. However, we would need to first dislodge this knight, which doesn't seem entirely possible. So what I want to do here is this idea, trying to undermine his backline. Honestly, I don't know if it's going to work, guys. I have to be honest with you. You know, I'm not very happy. And by the way, if you're wondering, the reason I'm not taking here is he just takes with tempo, right? And instead, if he takes, that pawn is dead in the water, can't go anywhere. So I'm not using my tempo to take that. I kind of want to force him to react. And we have about 1 minute and 12 seconds here, so we kind of have to be snappy. Okay, so he takes with check. I think that now I'm going to offer a queen trade, which he will probably take since he's actually up material. But I kind of want to get rid of this queen. I don't want to have to deal with that. And this idea now becomes a bit more viable of undermining the backline. And we can also do something like this. He can simply take that pawn, but you know, we get rid of the pawn. One less thing to worry about. And we can start to also take some pawns. He, of course, is actually cleaning out very nicely in this way. With those knight moves. I think we have really been outplayed. This, by the way, this has been Dom. Okay. This has been Dom from also the UK. And he's above 700. So congratulations, sir. You are playing very well. I think it was a very instructive game already. I don't think we have any great ideas that can actually win the game for us unless he blunders something. But we're gonna try, right? We're gonna try. And he insists with checkmates. My very basic idea is to try to create a pass pawn, but it's very hard to create a guarded pass pawn with this setup. And yeah, it just becomes more and more difficult. At least we're getting some attacks, you know. I don't think we've played terribly, but certainly there's a lot to kind of analyze after the video here and learn from. I am not super happy with how things have gone, for sure. I think we should bring our king into the midst and attack with the king. We only have something like 20 seconds left, so we can't really dilly-dally a whole lot. Let's see what we can do here. The king can be a nasty fucker. Can be very annoying too. And this idea actually shoos the rook away, doesn't it? Well, yeah, that's pretty nice. That also doesn't work. Let's go here. And now that he does that, we have this idea. Now that's a free pass pawn for him. Gets very, very dicey. And we ran out of time. So sorry guys, I couldn't really do a great demonstration of the King's Indian, but I'm gonna practice more the opening, and hopefully next week we'll be back on the winning streak. As always, if you enjoyed the video, maybe drop a comment down below if you have suggestions for the next one. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye bye.